Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I know, wig. I feel that already. Wig, okay. Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I am ready for my wig to go flying.
Okay.
Ooh. I love that little robot voice. I swear.
Can you hear it when you edit?
No.
Ah, damn. I would love to start our episodes with that.
She's just so like soothing. I don't know why.
She is.
She's just there.
I wish we had sound effects though. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite things.
I should get a soundboard.
It's a
Anyway.
process. I
can
again,
imagine.
like, I don't know if I told it to your podcast or someone else's. I do the bare minimum when it comes to the podcast.
Yeah. So do I.
I don't. I'm in full drag right now, kids. Anyways.
Let's just open.
That is our opening, girly.
I know, girl.
I'm Martyr.
I'm C Tepper.
And this is March edition.
Oh yeah. Damn.
I think we're in March now.
Oh my god. Which is funny because a lot of the topics we're talking about, it's gonna be like so much time has passed.
I know. But that's fine.
Waiting.
Yeah. So, but Caitlin, what are we doing today? Who are we talking to?
We have a legendary performer here.
Yeah, we really do.
We really do. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. Miss Ari Kiki. Woo.
Welcome, babe.
Ooh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us on your podcast.
You're definitely
thank
a
you
dream
for
guest
doing that.
for sure.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So we did Ari's podcast, Shade
Mhm.
Parade, which is nominated
Mhm.
for Best Podcast, our rival.
Likewise, with you guys.
What's that been like getting nominated for that?
Surprising. I never know who listens to our podcast in New York nightlife. I like the few people who I know who comment on a regular basis that are like part of that, like Kareem McDagger, comments on a lot of our stuff. Who else pops in every once in a while? I can't remember. There's not that many people, so I don't know who listens to us. And I know last year was the first year that they opened up podcasts for nominations, and it was kind of like you had to like say your name to get like nominated. And
That's how we got nominated.
Right.
It was not a very
And-
formal process. We'll put it that way.
I don't remember why we didn't say our name. I'm like, I just didn't care. I'm like, it was that weird year where like I didn't want to focus on anything because
Yeah.
pandemic sucks.
Yep.
But this year we got a nomination, so that was surprising, and we're thankful for the nomination, and we're in great company.
There's so many people in this best podcast
Mhm.
I
category.
know.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I didn't see this person there before.
I'm just
Yeah.
thankful Bob and Monet are not nominated
Ugh.
for something rivalry.
I
Because
know.
of that, like,
Again.
I know hands down we're not gonna win.
Mm,
Though Monet's nominated, so I think it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Bob is the bigger name. No shade.
ooh. I mean, you're right. What? Ooh.
Well, Bob's been doing it longer.
Yeah,
well, especially New York nightlife, like Bob's.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I remember when Bob was a kid. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
and I remember Monet's first night out, I think, was at the Ritz.
Oh,
Was
shit.
it? I thought it was.
Because I remember
at-
judging her at one of the competitions over the years.
Ooh.
What do you say about her?
I love this tea.
I don't know what, but I mean, because I remember at that time Monet came out alongside Jasmine Rice LaBeija.
Yeah.
They went to school together,
Mm-hmm.
and so they both started doing drag competitions and stuff like that together. And so I was more well known at that time.
Yeah.
And so when they did Our Lady of Saliva at the Ritz, I would be like, I'm not on a regular basis, but every once in a while I'd be a judge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know I definitely was in the dream panel at some point when either Monet or Jasmine competed.
Yeah.
But
No.
they also they always gave like room for anyone to perform at the Ritz during Saliva. So it may have been just a night out.
No, I've interviewed Monet before. She said like Saliva was kind of her like big intro to nightlife.
Right. It definitely was for a lot of us. And it was definitely like a night for the queens, by the queens. We didn't
Mhm.
really actually give a fuck about the actual audience that was not a drag, like my life related. Like
Those
we'll
are the
take
best
your money, but
nights.
like we did shows for ourselves.
Yeah,
Like
those are the best nights.
yeah. It was so I've not run into anything like it since.
I know. I've heard stories about it too, and I'm like, damn, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
I felt bad on like on the nights of the saliva competition, which I think was the last Tuesday of every month. I felt bad for the cleaning crew of the bar.
Oh no.
Because I know I personally, when I competed a few times, like we wanted to out top each other.
Mm-hmm.
I know one time I got dressed up as Miss Piggy, and because one of my sisters made me a mix. There's a Miss Piggy's like 70s track called Snackexercise, and so she works out by eating. And so like I kept on pulling out food and throwing it against the wall as I kept like went to the next item. Or people were like, a lot of McGriddles was like grabbing the food out of my hand as I went by. Like,
my God.
there was one night where like someone threw paint all over the place. And
Oh my
like,
God.
Looking back, it was very careless and disrespectful.
But it was iconic.
But it was, yeah, it's definitely not gonna happen again.
Damn.
And that's how you build community, kids.
Now everyone has to bring tarps and
Yep.
you know.
Mhm.
I'm fine
Oh my
with
God.
that.
Yeah.
So how has your pandemic been?
Currently I'm fine. We went back to my day job last July. We reopened with limited people here and there. And now we're at full swing, and every couple of weeks someone gets COVID and we all have to go get tested. Or you know, enter at your own risk.
Yep.
I'm just like, I'm vaccinated and boosted. I'm like, it's not gonna take me down more than like a few days, if anything.
Yep.
And when it comes to nightlife, it's like, do I wear a mask? Do I not wear a mask? And I'd rather not wear a mask when I'm performing.
Yeah.
Between the fogging up and smelling my own breath, I'd rather not. And the lack of alcohol intake because of the mask.
That's true. That's true.
I love a good mask moment at the bar, though. Let's be real. Caitlin knows what I'm talking about, but
You just don't want to talk to people. So
I really don't.
It's an excuse not to, I guess.
like,
That's fine. I'm not like I personally am the type that likes to sit at the bar and chill. Like I'll talk to people I know, but if I don't know you, I really don't want to engage. And I'll find a reason to disappear if I have to.
You guys teach Martyr some tips.
Oh my God. I'm the worst barfly because I'm just like just walking around on my phone, slightly drunk.
I'm like, I'm on the apps. Nope, nothing interesting here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Where are you from originally?
Born and raised in New York, Manhattan. I'm of Puerto Rican and Cuban descent, though. Lived in Midtown Manhattan for the first 25 years of my life, I want to say. And then relocated to Maspeth, Queens for 2 years. And then moved back into Manhattan, but relocated to the Heights with a small year in Harlem. What's the word I'm looking for? Got acquainted with bed bugs.
Oh no. Oh.
Been there, girl.
And I found that I'm not allergic to the bites, so I didn't know I had them.
Oh my God.
No.
I didn't know I had them until I had someone sleep over. And then that kind of like ruined it for me. And then moved out of that apartment, relocated to a friend's in the neighborhood, then bounced around, was renting a room from an old Dominican lady for the past 5 years. And then during the pandemic, things kind of got sour in that space. And I was like, I need to get out. And an opportunity came up with a family member. So I relocated to New Jersey, and I've been here since June of 2021.
Are you in Jersey City?
No, I am in a small town called Garfield.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah.
Polishy.
Yeah.
very crowd like.
Greenpoint.
I'm near Passaic and Patterson, if that helps for like context.
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to have lived?
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say you're
I love
everywhere.
the Heights because the Heights there's always food. Like also Manhattan, I'm so used to everything being open late
Yeah.
and not having. I could just walk down to like a corner store, and I don't have that now. So
It's such a luxury, I know.
yeah.
Back home, our corner stores were Walmart. They were open till like I think they were 24/7. So the thing to do would just be to go to Walmart at like 2 in the morning.
Walmart has everything. So
yeah.
It does. We as a Manhattan person, I do not know what the Walmart experience was.
No, I know.
Because Manhattan and New York City are like anti at Walmart.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in Jersey, I'm in Walmart once a week.
At least sounds about right. Yeah.
Walmart's a way of life.
It's the devil.
It is.
It really is. Oh my god.
But thank you for. I mean, when I was in Manhattan, I had Target, and that's like close, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Close.
Targets here suck.
Target, I've back home, and I feel like here too.
Where's back home? Because you keep
Florida.
Okay.
Target was considered like the chic kind of like Walmart experience.
Yes, that's
Target. Ugly behavior. But
well, you don't hear of like Target, the people of Target. You hear the people of Walmart.
That's right. That's so true.
Sadly.
That's okay.
The normies go to Target. It's the weirdos that go to Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's correct. It's right. So how did you get into the drag scene?
I dabbled in drag. Originally, I want to say when I was 20, how old was I? Like 22, 23. I had a character called Marble. And I used to compete at drag competitions at Access Lounge, which doesn't exist anymore. It was on 24th between 7th and 8th. And the competition was hosted by a queen who now resides in Canada called Jade Electra. I was a Halloween queen at that time. That's how I got into drag for the first time. And then got into a relationship, put the drag away. That went on for 5 years, and then got out of the relationship, and drag reappeared around Pride. So then I became Ari Kiki around Pride. Reinvented myself and kind of like used the character to figure myself out, basically. I was like 27, I want to say. I was about 27 when I started the character. I started competing. My first bar night out was at Bartini. I think it was at Bartini, which was in Hell's Kitchen, like a block away from where Hardware is now. And it was Drag Wars hosted by Shaquita, which she still hosts at Pieces now.
Yep.
And so I started there, and then made my way over to Tranimal at Posh, which was hosted by Tina Burner. And I had met a friend on Adam for Adam, which is a very ancient site for meeting and hooking up with men. I met someone who is my drag sister now, Vicky Villaness. We met on Adam for Adam. She was very snarky, really mean to me, and I liked the vibe. But I also knew they were like a club kid at the time, and so I wanted to like play with makeup and kind of figure myself out. And so he kind of helped me do that. And so he would get me in drags the first few times, and then eventually he's like, if you're gonna be doing this more often, you need to learn how to do your own face. And so then when I was first doing drag as Ari Kiki, I was more gender fuck.
Yeah.
And then like I would be bearded, I had hairy armpits. And then when I started doing it for myself, It was right around the time that the Heath Ledger Joker came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to do like a drunk number at a benefit for the New York Anti-Violence Project that was happening at the Old Boots on Christopher Street. And so something just told me to do a lopsided lip. And so that became my signature for the first 10 years of my drag career.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started performing at Stonewall. That came about because I was a guest for a queen called Mahogany. It was me, Mahogany, and my then drag sister, Gisela Versace, who doesn't do drag anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the bar manager had seen me at Barracuda because Barracuda was my first home bar. Because I had one Star Search there when Tina hosted it. And so I would host Drag Race there and do my own show. I think it was after Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the bar managers at Stonewall had seen me at Barracuda, saw me at the show I was doing at Stonewall, and was like, "Have you ever bartended before?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Are you interested? Would you be open to it?" And I said, "Sure." And so I started bartending in drag on Sundays at Stonewall, and that kind of helped me meet a lot of other performers, kind of step up my drag. I eventually found that clown white was not the right color for my entire face.
Sometimes there's some hard lessons.
If you see old photos of me bartending at Stonewall, my foundation was never the right skin tone. But I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of I got to meet a lot of New York nightlife through working at Stonewall. And I ended up quitting bartending there after like 6 or 7 years, but I still have a monthly show there. And what else? And then during the pandemic, when nobody was working, really, virtual drag was like the thing to do. I personally didn't care for virtual drag at first, but because we didn't know when we were gonna get back into bars, you kind of had to get used to it.
Yeah.
And I was doing a weekly makeup show, I would call it. I would have different performers, and it was a nice way to connect with performers outside of New York. We would do it on Instagram every Monday, Makeup Mondays, and I would just get into drag and kiki with whoever was my guest. And over that period of time during the pandemic, I started growing out my beard. And when things reopened, I talked to all the managers of all the bars that I work at, and I was like, "Do you care if I keep the beard?" And everyone was like, "You're Ari Kiki, the hot mess. You can do whatever."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Thank you." And so the beard has stayed, except for one time that I hosted at Lucky Chang's when they asked me to shave because I was doing my Selena impersonation. But I asked them for more money to shave it. So
good.
Hey.
But she's back for now.
Good.
Did
I cover everything? I don't know if I went.
That was
That
perfect.
was everything,
That
girl.
was
Yeah.
perfect. I have one question before we take a break.
Sure.
Where did the name Ari Kiki come from?
So when I mentioned that I first started doing drag, my name was Marble, and so that was the first letters of my real name and the first letters of my last name. And then so when I came back out in drag and I wanted to do my gender fuck stuff, I had seen some foreign film back in the early 2000s where the queer lead character's name was Ari, and that kind of stuck with me. I liked that it was short, it was non-gender specific, and it has 3 letters that are part of my first name. So not that my first name is not Marty is not a long name, but like if you want to make it shorter, Ari works.
There you
go. And then I was gonna originally go by Ari Star, but then I was like, what if I suck? And like Star is a big name to like, you have to live up to a name like Star.
That's true.
So I was like, Star doesn't, it also didn't fit my vibe. But I was doing nonprofit work at the New York Anti-Violence Project. I was learning about different cultures, different parts of the queer community, including the ball scene and things of that nature. And so came across the word Kiki, And the way I was introduced to the word, it was to joke around, to gossip, or just have a good time. And those three kind of interpretations of the word kind of like struck a chord with me, and was also kept the drag name short. So Ari Kiki is like a pretty short drag name.
It is.
And it's pretty hard to like fuck that up even when you're drunk.
You're true.
So that's what it was. I just introduced myself as that, and it kind of just stuck.
I like that. That's a question I've been wondering about for a very long time, because I
Yeah,
like it.
there
It's
you
kind
go.
of unique.
Yeah. I've met a lot of Kikis.
Yes.
But I've never heard of an Ari or a Kiki as a last name for the most part.
Yeah.
Are you still? Because you said Kiki, you got that from like ball culture. Because I know Kiki balls are like a thing, kind of still.
Well, so I was doing nonprofit work at the New York Anti-Violence Project, and they were teaching me of like the trans community uses the word Kiki also, and it's more like with gossiping and joking around. And so the word came across to me as having multiple definitions, and so that's kind of like and all the definitions kind of like sounded like something I would like to equate with myself.
I mean, I love it. So,
Thank you.
Caitlin, shall we take a break?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna take a little break, kids. We'll be right back, and we're gonna talk about Miss Ari Kiki starting the House of Kiki and
Lots of other things.
and lots of other things. We'll be right back, kids. Bye.
Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I know, wig. I feel that already. Wig, okay. Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I am ready for my wig to go flying.
And we're back.
We're back.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Listen. Oh, I have to give the viewers something to look forward to when we come back from break. And it's usually just me moaning, right?
Okay.
Right, kids? Right.
Right, kids.
Anyways, so we happen to be guests on your podcast fairly recently. How did the podcast come to be?
So me and Vicky have now been friends for about 11 years, and give or take about 4 or 5 years ago, we were just like, we're funny, we should just record us having conversation. So I drink, she smokes and drinks. We would just put our microphone out while we were having conversation, and we would upload those every once in a while. And then Vicky's friend DJ came across that and was like, you guys should like really structure this a little bit better. And so he jumped on, and we started stepping up this production and making it a weekly show and talking about current events or whatever is in the news and about our weeks. And slowly but surely, we just kept on investing and making more time into it. And it is what it is now, the monster that is the Shade Parade.
I definitely think it's probably one of the like biggest like New York City nightlife podcasts for sure.
I wish Vicky was still in the city. So
yeah.
she could partake in it more. But life takes you where it takes you, and hopefully it takes us to LA soon, because I would love to have that connection.
Ooh.
Or even Florida. I know she mentions that she might be moving somewhere sunnier.
She needs to get out of where she is.
Boston is not, I mean, I don't know much about Boston, but
it's cold as fuck.
Right. So we'll see.
Me and Caitlin have been a fan for a while. We even named our group chat the Shade Parade after the podcast.
It was not named after the podcast, but
yes, it was.
It kind of coincided with
yes,
it at the same time.
So there's a group chat between my drag family and her drag family, and we call it the Shady Ladies. And so that kind of led to the Shade Parade becoming the title for the show.
That That's interesting. Speaking of families, you have a very illustrious house of Kiki.
I do.
Who are your kids currently?
That's a great way to phrase that.
Because I can't keep up. I personally can't keep up.
So not that I have that many, but my official first daughter is Lola Michelle Kiki. She became my daughter, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. She saw me out at like Saliva and Boots and Saddles and was like, "You're gonna be my drag mom." And I'm like, "I don't want drag kids." And she's like, "I'm gonna make you want me." And then so she pursued me for a full year.
Wow.
And would come to my gigs, support me, would help me here and there. And eventually I was like, fine, child, Lola Michelle Kiki. And then she worked a lot with Katrina Lovelace, but Katrina had a mother. Her mother at the time was Princess Bitch, who works with Lilith LaFay a lot, or used to. I don't know if they still work together anymore. And so Katrina and Lola were like basically sisters in some sense. And so when I started working at Boots and Saddles and became house mother at Boots and Saddles, I really got to work with Katrina a lot more. And I'm like, "You're with Lola all the time. I like your vibe. You're super chill. Would you want to be my drag daughter?" And she's like, "Well, I have a drag mom." I'm like, "Fuck that bitch. She's not doing anything for you."
Yeah.
Like, I asked Princess if it was okay, and Princess wasn't cool with it at first, but eventually was like, "Fine, you can take her." And so eventually Katrina became Katrina. Katrina did not take on the name, but she is a Kiki. And then Mr. Email, who's my roommate currently, they came to my show at Stonewall and lied that it was their birthday, was there in male drag to some degree. And when it's your birthday, when I was doing my show at Stonewall, I would bring you up on stage and have a conversation with you and have you lip sync. And so they lip sync whatever, and ended up connecting with Lola and Katrina because they had a monthly show at Stonewall. And so they became a regular on their show. And I was like, "Well, you're Latin, you're cool, I like your vibe." And after like a year or two, we ended up actually we both ended up being in Los Angeles at the exact same time for a full week. And so we ended up bonding during that trip. It wasn't planned. We just happened to be in LA at the same time. And so we ended up bonding during that trip. And I was just like, "Yeah, you're definitely going to be part of the house." So then we ended up Mr. Kiki to the house. And there's a whole tradition, like when you become part of the house of Kiki, you have to come, I think it's usually at one of my shows, and we dub you with a chicken wing into the house. And so that's been the process with everybody so far. What you said at the beginning was like, who's currently in your house? So that's the house.
Yeah.
But before the house was built, Britta Filter was one of my offsprings.
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Britta had messaged me before she started doing drag. She was as part of the touring cast of Cinderella. She was an evil stepsister, and she was coming back from tour. She had seen queens performing in nightlife, and she reached out to me. She's like, "Hey, I know you do this show at Stonewall where you bring, new and up and coming queens as your guests, and it's all for charity. I would love to do the show and I kind of make my debut there." And I said, "Sure. However I can help." And so I ended up booking her on a regular basis for a period of time and helping her out. And I was like, "Never wear a short wig ever again," because she came on from tour. She was, whatever wig they had given her was like the short Catherine Zeta-Jones Chicago wig.
Yeah.
It was not meant for her head shape whatsoever.
Definitely not.
And I gave her one of my big curly red wigs, and so ever since then she's always worn big hair. And so over time she became my daughter. Her and Lola were sisters for a period of time, and then Britta kind of got big. And and ended up having, I think she has now like 5 moms.
Oh.
I'm one of them from time to time, depending on who you ask and what day of the week it is. But I know that she claims Keisha Carr as a mom sometimes. I get claimed as a mother. Lauren Order. Originally, it was me and Lauren Order. Because I helped her with gigs and Lauren helped her with makeup and I think outfits at the beginning of her career. I think there's like one other mother or two in the picture. And I reach out to her from time to time, but I let her do her own thing and try not to piggyback because that's never been my thing.
Yeah, you're a hands-off mom.
I'm a hands-on mom with these 3. But Britta's her own monster.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about the Glam Awards earlier, but you have already won some Glam Awards on your own.
I do. I have 2 trophies thus far. I believe the first one was for Best Host.
Yeah.
And I believe the second one was for Best Comedic Performer.
Yeah. Those are pretty big awards too.
They are. And I had great competition. Who I was nominated alongside with. And it's an honor to be nominated, but it's greater to win.
How is it winning?
It's a great feeling, but at the end of the day, I don't get more gigs and I don't get paid more. So I appreciate it. I do. The trophies are right alongside my bed. But yeah, that's just it's a great feeling, but it doesn't do anything at the end of the day for my career.
But one of my favorites that you've won is the Lifetime Achievement Slam Award.
Oh yes.
The Slam Awards are so funny to me. I love them.
I wish Bob would come back and take it on, or I wish someone who managed it the same way with the same heart. So Bob started the Slam Awards as kind of like a mock of the Glam Awards.
Yeah.
And she would host it over at Access, and it was such a small venue, but it was such a like close-knit group of people who were looking forward to it because all the categories were shady.
Yeah.
And so we all look forward to talking shit about each other to our faces. And so for the longest period of time, I kept on winning Hottest Mess, Best Hole in the Wall, which was meant for a bar, and a couple of other trophies. And the trophies were always these like jacked up heels that she got at like a $5 store. She would spray paint gold and stick like these jacked up Barbie dolls. I have almost all of them still in my room in a big IKEA bag because they're just
ridiculous.
It's taking up too much space for me to actually put them out on display. And they're not pretty. They're not pretty at all. Have you seen one of them before?
No.
Okay, hold on, wait.
I'm gagged. I remember the Slammies.
The Nobodies hosting now.
Who?
The Nobodies?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody's hosting now.
They haven't done it in a minute though.
They need to bring it back.
Here.
I was nominated for worst dress.
And so when the Nobodies took it over, I campaigned kinda, but I'm like, it's not the same energy, it's not the same vibe. But I think it had been on hiatus for like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, listen, you have to come, but don't expect to win what you usually win. And so they gave me a wreath of heels. They were all like strappy heels tied up to each other. And that was my Lifetime Achievement Award. And so that's hanging up in my room.
Beautiful. We love to see it.
Oh,
I appreciate it. And that's fun. That's fun because it's like really voted by people who know you in the scene. Whereas I feel like the Glam Awards is a really big encompassing competition.
Yep.
The Slammies were like, those of us who care to be trash were like here for it.
Yeah, thriving.
I love being like the economy of like being nominated for like the highest award and also like one of the lowest awards.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's so
and
fun.
I love them both.
Which one do you think is more important to you? Or which one do you
Slammies.
cherish more? Slammies.
The Slammies.
Yeah.
Just because I have so many fond memories of the Slam Awards, and all of us just looking forward to talking shit about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas at the Glams, you're not trying to. You're there talking shit about each other, but it's not the same.
Nah.
Yeah.
There's no time either.
and at the Slams, you didn't have to pay to go.
I still don't know if we got free tickets this year. I don't know.
Supposed to get free tickets. You
Okay, good.
Her. I messaged, but double check because now it's sold out. So
no, I know. I'm like, are we getting?
I mean, if we didn't get free tickets, Caitlin, we're just gonna do a cute photo shoot and
we'll just stand outside of it.
Yeah.
Now with this incoming snow.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
I'm here for it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Slammies, next year you're turning a big birthday number and you wanted to do a roast.
I do.
Who would be your dream roasters for your birthday next year?
So I already know. So when I made the post a few days ago that I was gonna do a roast for my 40th, my drag daughter Lola was like, "Can I host it?" And I'm like, "Sure, you're fine." She's like, "I don't have to roast you. I just have to move the show along." I'm like, "That's fine with me." I know I definitely want Vicky to roast me.
Hell yeah.
She's known me the best. My other drag sister, Prodigy Major, reached out and was like, "I want to roast you." And I think she'd also be good at roasting me. A lot of my griddles was that she's another sister I've worked with for a long period of time. I started making a list just for this reason because I want to have the right people there.
I know. Roasts are very serious in New York.
Svetlana Stoli. And that's it for right now, but I definitely want to add at least 2 or 3 more. And if possible, maybe have them do numbers they've seen me do over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Maybe Jada Valenciaga, possibly, because she's known me for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda Darling's a sweetheart, but she's also been like a sister to me for a couple of years. So I don't know if she'd be good at roasting, but I just like to have her there.
Yeah. I'm here. She could do a mix of like from the Shade Parade or something.
I don't know.
That's my guess. My last question for this is that I saw you collect Rainbow High dolls. I'm obsessed with them too. So I was like,
I just got bitten by the Rainbow High addiction.
They're so cute.
Sometime, I think it started in October, and I currently own 13.
That's a lot.
I don't want them all.
Yeah.
I'm very picky. I need a green hair because I don't have any. I only have like one greeny looking one. And I might want the twins.
There's twins?
There's a set of twins. They came out for a holiday like 2 years ago. But they're $50 at the moment, and I know they were marked down for $25 during the holidays, and I wasn't sure them. I try my best not to pay full price for them.
Yeah. Where are you getting them on eBay?
No. I buy them in retail.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Target and Walmart.
Oh, they're cute.
Sometimes Amazon. I've been collecting dolls for maybe 20 years.
Oh wow.
I have actually, hold on. I can show you some more shit.
Yay. I feel like we're playing cribs.
So is this light
Oh
on?
my goodness.
So there's a bookcase with some dolls.
I love
They're not
it.
all there. I have a lot more. But if I can get closer, here's my collection of RuPaul dolls.
Oh.
And then there's my shares.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And then I have a very hard to find. I gotta put her wig back on, but I'll show you. I have an Amanda Lepore.
Oh yes, I remember.
Wait, is she the one with the pussy?
Yeah, the pussy's there. The plastic pussy. They only made like I think 1,000. It was like 333 of each type.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it third hand from another collector. I had to trade like a bunch of dolls to get her.
Mm-hmm.
And she came completely naked. So I had to like find a wig that looked like a wig of hers and have a custom outfit made because her body proportions are ridiculous in real life and in plastic form.
That's right.
And her head is discolored because they made the doll infused with a perfume that she was selling at the time. And the perfume has now made all the dolls' faces discolored.
Wow.
The scent was called Whore, if I'm not mistaken.
I need that. And on that note,
I have a question.
Please.
Maybe you can give us some insight. Because I think we've interviewed a few people, a few drag performers that also collect dolls.
yes.
Mhm.
We have.
What do you think? What do you think the common connection there is? Why do you collect dolls, basically?
I think they're good for inspiration for fashion,
Mhm.
I
for
agree.
hair, for wigs, and stuff like that. It's also kind of like runways. I think are like something that connects a lot of drag queens.
Mhm.
So like having your own personal little models and stuff like that. Also, as little faggots, we weren't allowed to get these dolls.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
there's always that connection of like, now that I have this money, I can reclaim my childhood.
Yeah. And on that note, we should take a little break. We'll be right back, kids, with our usual wrap-up segments. Bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
Wig, okay. I know, wig. I feel that already. Wig, okay. Wig, did you just say wig? Wig, okay. I am ready for my wig to go flying.
And we're back. We just want to.
Hey.
I just learned so much about dolls, y'all.
I'm like ready. I'm like literally like I'm putting things in my cart as we're having
Yeah,
a conversation.
Apparently, you can
Proceed
buy.
with caution. Proceed with
I
caution.
know,
right?
I know. I
But
don't really have room.
apparently, you can buy dolls at Best Buy. Who knew?
That's what we learned today.
So, well, speaking of some dolls, we were talking about Monster High dolls, but that kind of gets us into our next question. Do you think you'd ever want to be on Dragula or RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There was a period of time where I wanted to be on Drag Race, and I think the opportunity is great for those who get on, who navigate it properly,
Mhm.
and are not fucked over by the edit.
Mhm.
I've seen several New York girls get fucked over by the edit.
Yep.
And try and recover, and that's something that I would fear. That is something I do fear, because I think when you have a large viewership given an image of you, it's very hard to undo. We saw that Fifi O'Hara still deals with Jeremy now.
Yeah, she's not even Fifi anymore because of what happened.
Right. It just, yeah. So I would hate to have that ripped out from my possession.
It's also currently happening with Jasmine Kennedy. Apparently she's going to be the villain of this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they released the first 10 minutes of the next episode. This is obviously way in advance from when this airs. But yeah, they're definitely kind of giving her that.
Feel like I also, as a New York queen, I don't really know her.
Yeah, she's very young.
I'm not trying to Mariah Carey it, but she is young. But I don't feel like she wasn't super. I knew of her.
Yeah,
but I don't know her.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was that well known going in there.
Definitely not. She was kind of known in New York, but
yeah,
she's not like she wasn't like headlining every week somewhere.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's my fear with Drag Race, and then with Dragula, I do like Dragula a lot. I know that my drag wouldn't fit into that because I'm not like artsy fartsy creative type. I'm more just like funny haha sense of humor faces type of thing. So like I'd rather do something else with reality TV than those two options.
I
could see you on Dragula though.
I mean I feared to get the Mary Cherry at it.
Yeah. Well, but I wouldn't Mary
get
Cherry
that
said.
edit. I would just get that edit maybe on the runway, but not in personality. I know that for a fact.
Well, yeah. Mary Cherry's in her own lane.
I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the rumors with her, but yeah, she's kind of like distancing herself from the Boulets.
Oh,
like
I didn't know that.
She's like blocked them on social media. She's taking the drag. I think it's in her contract. She has to keep the Dragula logo in her flyers, but like she's like made it super tiny. She's like deleted all of her looks that she wore on Dragula. She's like very much trying to distance herself from being on.
I mean, I don't know why she went on there personally.
Yeah.
The Boulets
just knowing her drag, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
No.
And that's kind of like what I feel. Like, I mean, I could see myself on there, but I also know that that's not a right fit for me either.
Yeah. I agree. There needs to be a lot more avenues.
Yeah. I think we're slowly getting there, but it's taking a minute.
It's a very slow process.
Yeah. I mean, RuPaul definitely broke the ceiling on that end. And I'm thankful for that. But there's other aspects, and so we'll see. I mean, there's We Are Here. There's Dragnificent, I think is the other one they do. With Alexis Thorgy, Juju.
Oh, right, yeah. That's on TLC.
Right. I've never watched that one yet, but
me neither.
It's got 2 seasons.
I don't know why they haven't done a nightlife show.
I agree.
Because I think if you follow, I mean, what was the one they tried to do in New York?
Shade, Queens of NYC.
That's my favorite show because it's ridiculous and very fake.
The thing is, it was too scripted. It was too.
It's so fake. It's so fake.
if you literally just follow the right people in nightlife, you have a show.
Yeah, totally.
You don't need to script it. You don't need to like create friendships and enemies and whatnot. Like,
stupid.
There's enough of that there's enough of that. Like, you don't need to like create it and stir the pot for fun.
People really want like a Real Housewives of Drag type moment.
Yeah, a lot of people.
There's definitely room for that, and there's definitely enough characters out in different cities where you could do, drag queens of Miami, drag queens of Manhattan, drag queens of Brooklyn, Chicago, LA, West Hollywood, Texas, Houston, Atlanta.
Easily.
It's an untapped market, and I don't know why it still hasn't been tapped because faggots are drama.
Faggots love drama,
especially when they're in heels and alcohols.
Someone get Andy Cohen on the phone.
I know, right? I know where he lives.
Okay.
It's yours.
Okay. Do you have speaking of all that, do you have any future projects to promote? And this is coming out the end of February.
In March.
Yeah,
basically March.
At the moment, there's rumblings of me possibly traveling to Miami for an Urban Bear Week. Weekend. So if that pans out, I'll be out in Fort Lauderdale at the end of March. I know I have a private gay wedding to possibly work in April. And someone mumbled to me about doing something in Atlanta in August. But I would love to tour with my character. I know every time I go to LA, I just bring a wig and a romper just in case I can do something. And same thing when I go to Florida. But I also have a day job, and so I don't want drag to be my main focus, only because I feel like when it becomes your main focus, you lose half the fun.
Yep.
For me, drag isn't supposed to be a hustle.
Yeah.
It's what I do to enjoy my life and drink for free.
Tea.
And I've been doing it well for 12 years, apparently.
There you go. It's been working.
Well enough.
Yeah.
So what is the best advice you've been given about doing drag?
Don't do it for the money.
Mm.
Do it if you like to entertain, if you like to be creative, go in to doing drag for the art, because that's truly what should be the focus. And then just something that I personally live by is a day without laughter is a day wasted. It's tatted on my arm. It's a Charlie Chaplin quote. Supposedly, according to the internet, it's a Charlie Chaplin quote. And so that's one of the mantras I live by when it comes to myself and my drag. And then on this side, there's a RuPaul quote, which is not really a RuPaul quote because I've heard this from numerous sources.
Yeah.
Don't take life too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think should also be applied to anything you do in life. Don't go crazy. Because if it doesn't matter after a couple of months, it shouldn't be driving you insane.
Wow. I think Martyr should take some lessons from this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't take life too seriously.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm only 39. I'm just a young 39, so I don't know.
Well, speaking of that, I think it's time for my favorite question. Miss Ari, Miss Ariani, if you're nasty. I'm kidding.
Oh, Miss Kiki, if you're nasty.
Miss Kiki, if you're nasty. Can you give us a scandalous, salacious, dramatic, nasty story of something that you've either experienced, encountered, heard of?
Yeah.
A juicy story in nightlife.
Well, so I don't know if you know the story about him, LeBronx and Saliva. If you've heard the story of this.
Oh, maybe
I might have, but let's do it.
I think you guys have interviewed enough people that you might have heard the story.
Yeah.
I was there that night. I was there and I lost to this bitch. So it was I think my first time competing at Our Lady of Saliva or my second at the Ritz. I'm trying to remember which night it was. I think it was the first. And so I can't remember the entire lineup, but I know that Honey LeBronx was one of the queens. And so the first thing you would do is Q&A. Second round was talent. And third would be evening gown. So we only had like 20 minutes, roughly, depending how long everyone's smoke break went, between segments. And so between the Q&A and the run and the talent, we're upstairs getting ready. Honey LeBronx is in the bathroom for a long period of time. And when she comes out, there's a half-used tub of Crisco on the toilet seat. And we don't know what's going on. So I think I went right before her, I want to say, or right after. No, I don't remember, but I'm somewhere in the lineup where I catch what happens. And so she does her number. It's a dainty little number. She's making a salad, a fruit salad. And she's cutting it up on the floor. She's wearing this little skirt, whatever. And then she acts like she's missing an ingredient. Comes out, turns around, lifts up her skirt, and shits out an apple. Cuts up the apple, puts it on the plate. And the audience loses its shit, loses their minds, loses their shit, whatever. When the apple comes out. But what some people don't realize is Thorgy, who was the host, along with Azrea, were behind on the stage and didn't see what exactly happened. So Honey Bronx then proceeds to walk around with the plate and offer it to people. And Thorgy, not realizing what had happened, grabs a piece and like eats it.
Oh no!
And everyone like loses their mind, and Thorgy's completely unaware as to what's going on. So there's that.
Why do we always have so many shit stories on this podcast, Caitlin?
I've also seen Jasmine Rice LaBeija shit out a condom full of like cocaine as part of her number.
Oh my god.
Cat. It's the default go-to for queens.
It really is though.
It is though.
For shock value.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get the shock in there. Oh my god, what even?
I mean, it's our human pocket. It's our kangaroo pouch.
I need to leave. And the Zoom call.
We're not done yet. Okay.
Buttholes, kangaroo pouch.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, last question before we wrap up. Where do you want to take your drag in the future?
I would like to do stand up. I want to say, or something to the effect of like Lady Bunny and like Suddenly Seymour, who do shows around the world, or Coco Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't figured out how to finesse it to that level, because I know that when I'm on the stage, I do like to tell stories from time to time, and I just need to figure out how to weave an hour and a half long story. So something to consider, something I've definitely considered and just haven't sat down and put pen to paper on to like build something out.
I feel like you could definitely have like a night at like in Provincetown or something, where it's more like one-on-one with the audience.
Yeah, I enjoy those type of things. I like to engage with the audience and telling them stories and whatnot, making people laugh. That's the key for me.
Definitely. And I think you're pretty good at it.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Of course, babe. Well, thank you so much for
thank you for
us.
coming in on our show.
It's been an honor to have
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. Please come back.
Pleasure.
It's definitely an honor because you're someone who I've known about for a very, very long time.
Same here. Yeah. Where can the kids...
I got to give you a little
tour? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best.
Where can the kids find you on the internet?
Social media, Instagram and Twitter are Ari Kiki, ARIKIKI _hot mess. My Twitter is not safe for work because I watch a lot of porn and I don't care and I reshare. And then my Venmo and Cash Apps are both just Ari Kiki. You can't really quite follow me there, but you could definitely send me money. Is there anything else? And then of course the Shade Parade. Shade Parade Pod on Instagram, Shade Parade Pod online. We're on most streaming sites and we go up every Friday midday with a new episode, God willing. And then physically, I'm usually at Stonewall every second Saturday with a special guest at 8:00, and at Gym Bar every Friday for karaoke and while Drag Race is on Drag Race at 8:00. And then once every 2 months, I'm at Lucky Chang's for Crazy Boozy Brunch.
Damn, bitch, you are
busy.
and
on Instagram for all that information.
Damn, yeah, shit. Good for you. That's a full schedule. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah.
A pleasure.
A pleasure.
Good luck to you at the Glams. By the time this airs,
when this airs, we will have all lost.
Yeah. But you know, it happens. But I was Martyr.
I was C Tepper.
And this was
Wigging It Out.
Bye, kids.
Bye.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
I'm C Tepper. You can follow me on Instagram at CTEPPER and read my book, The State of Drag, where I interviewed 175 drag queens from around the world. All proceeds go to charity on Amazon.com.
Ooh, I love that. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Drag the Martyr. And if you have any thoughts, comments, dick pics, send them to dragthemartyr@gmail.com.
Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Pandora.
And catch up with past episodes on WERRRK.com. That's WERRRK.com.
Artwork for Wigging Out was provided by Glitter Baby Online. That's Glitter Baby Online. Thank you.